Welcome back to episode 5 of Starting from Zero in Farming Simulator 25. If you haven't seen the previous episodes yet, I recommend going back to watch them first. This story builds up and things are moving fast. Also, if you want to binge watch the entire first year of the journey, I've compiled that into a single video. Just click the card in the top right corner. Let's get into it. It's August, 8 in the morning. My bank account shows just over $350,000. I kicked off the morning like usual. First thing, I set the stones produced overnight by the stone crusher to be sold. After that, I transported water to all the greenhouses to make sure lettuce production keeps going strong. Then it was time to harvest the sorghum I planted earlier. The problem is, I didn't own a header for the harvester I bought in the last episode. So I had to swing by the store and drop $35,000 on a new header. On top of that, I needed a header trailer to transport it to the field, which cost me another $7,500. While I was at the dealership, something caught my eye. A used Deutz Fahr 6 CRV shift tractor was on sale. I hesitated for a second, wondering if I really needed it. But the farm is scaling up fast. Sooner or later, I'll need a second tractor anyway. I pulled the trigger and bought it for $66,000. Then came another purchase, this time a trailer. I picked up the Claas Carrot 140 TD, which hauls 22.5 cubic meters for just $20,000. In my opinion, that's one of the best bang-for-your-buck trailers you can get. After the shopping spree, I headed to Field 36 and got the sorghum harvest underway, assigning an AI worker to handle the job. The result was 27,500 liters of sorghum. That's enough to keep my chickens fed for an entire year. Once the harvest was done and the grain was safely stored, it was time to hit the contract grind. I mowed the grass on fields 35, 44, and 12 for $5,500. Not huge money, but decent after the spending spree I just went on. Next, I cultivated field 78 for $5,400 and harvested sorghum on field 10 for $2,400. A bunch of other contracts were available, but I passed. They were all vegetable harvests, red beet, carrots, and parsnips. In my opinion, those are some of the worst contracts in the game. They take way too long, they're a pain to harvest, and the payout isn't even worth the time. On top of that, the harvesters for these crops don't have built-in grain tanks, which means you have to drive alongside the AI worker. Total nightmare. I know there are modded harvesters with tanks, but I'm not spending money or storage space on that just for contracts. I don't plan on growing those crops long-term anyway. Back to the grind, I knocked out a few more contracts, including cultivating, sowing, and harvesting peas. By the end of the day, my bank balance was sitting just over $300,000. That wrapped up August, and just like that, we were into September. September started off like every other month. I sold the stone, watered the greenhouses, and fed the chickens. Then I picked up a $4,400 contract to harvest peas on field 30. While my AI worker took care of the harvesting, I went on another shopping mission. With field 36 now harvested, it was time to prep it for the next crop. Someone in the comments mentioned that barley is actually a better feed crop for chickens than sorghum. So I thought, why not give it a shot? But here's the issue. Last time, I bought a planter, not a seeder. And planters can't sow barley. That forced a decision. Should I go with sorghum again, or commit to barley? I chose barley, so I returned to the dealership and found a Horschfeiner 6 SL shallow cultivator that can cultivate and seed at the same time. It cost me $39,000. I also had to buy a separate seed tank for $19,500. Not cheap. Was it overkill? Maybe, You tell me in the comments. Was that a smart investment, or should I have gone the cheaper route and stuck with sorghum? Anyway, I grabbed 2 cultivating contracts for fields 6 and 68 to help offset the cost. Together, they'd bring in $6,800. But then I hit another roadblock. The AI worker couldn't use the new cultivator because it's designed to work with the seed tank attached. Since there was no seed in the tank, the AI refused to do the job. Classic bug. So I had to do it manually. Luckily, GPS steering assist made it mostly hands-free. I earned an extra $9,600 from leftover peas on field 30. That was a nice bonus. I also upgraded my tractor's tires to wide tires for $3,000 so it could handle the heavy cultivator better. Then a big contract came in. Harvest sorghum on field 37, right above mine. The payout was $7,200. This is where owning your own equipment pays off. No leasing costs. Full profit, unless you hire AI workers, of course. While my harvester was working, I had an AI worker begin cultivating and sowing field 36 with barley. Then came a mowing job for $8,500. Easy money. After the barley was sown, I fertilized field 36 to push the yield bonus as close to 100% as possible, again with help from an AI worker. Then came a full grind session. I harvested green beans on field 86, mowed field 11, cultivated field 47, plowed field 30, and more. 2 contracts stood out. Plowing field 77 brought in nearly $18,000. It took a while, but was definitely worth it. And then there was harvesting sorghum on field 91. Before I tackled field 91, I made a pit stop at the shop to repair the harvester. That cost me just under $5,500, but it was essential. Poorly maintained equipment loses power and burns fuel faster. A worn-down harvester runs slower and costs you time and money. Now here's the problem. I accepted the job on field 91, but realized I had no trailer available to haul the grain. I had to act fast and decided to invest in a silo. That way, I could store the sorghum that I harvested from my own field, plus the leftover sorghum from this contract on field 91. I spent just over $20,000 on the silo, worth every penny. I finished most of the harvest myself and hired an AI to help with the rest while I transported the grain. In total, I got 5,900 liters of leftover sorghum from field 91. So, I stored it in my new silo and got more feed for the chickens. To wrap up the day, I squeezed in a few more contracts. Plowing, cultivating, you name it. By the end of the day, my bank account was creeping back toward $400,000. But don't forget, I've made major upgrades: a new tractor, a cultivator and seeder combo, an extra trailer, and a new silo. All of that sets me up for even more income moving forward. That's it for episode 5 of Starting from Zero in Farming Simulator 25. Things are picking up fast and this season is shaping up to be a big one. Thanks again for all the support. These episodes take a lot of time to make and your comments and likes genuinely mean a lot. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And if you want to catch up or relive the journey, check out the full playlist or watch the entire Year 1 Journey video. I'll see you in the next one.